Hello everybody, we are going through our day 3 notes for exponent properties. There's going to be 2 videos for this information. The first is going to be as kind of a remember and just some examples for what we've already learned, and then some trickier examples will be in the next video. So this first part of the first video is just remembering this radical and fractional exponent rule. If you remember, to change from a radical to a fractional exponent, what we have to remember is that we have the exponent over the index. And the index is going to be this little number. Here is the radical, and the little number is going to be the index. The exponent that it's talking about is going to be, for example, whatever is on the inside, and so that is going to be this exponent here. So first of all, let's just really quick remember, how do we go back and forth between the two? So in this first example, my base is going to stay the same, and then I'm going to use the exponent, and that's going to be on top. Well, I don't see an exponent in here with m, so it's going to be a 1, and that's going to go over the index, which is 4. So as I switch back and forth, this is going to be m to the 1/4 power. Second example, again, the x does not have an exponent, so we're going to put in a 1. And then the index, I don't see an index either, but remember, this is a square root sign. That's another way to say the radical. So square root means the index is 2. So this would be x to the 1/2 power. The third example, the 3 is going to stay as the base. The 5, I see I have an exponent, so that's going to go in the numerator of the fraction. And again, the index I don't see, so that's going to be a 2. So 3 to the 5/2 power. But also remember that we can go the other way. If I have a fraction exponent, I can change that back into a radical. So if I draw my symbol, my c is the base, so that's going to go on the inside. The top number is going to be the exponent. So this 1 is going to be the exponent that goes with the c. And the 4 is going to be the index, so that is going to go in front of the radical, just like that. So these kinds of questions are going to use that radical and fractional exponent rule. And the biggest thing that I have to see here is that you can go back and forth between a radical and a fraction exponent. So no matter what the question says, you need to somewhere go back from a fraction exponent to a radical, or a radical to a fraction exponent. And how you're going to determine which way to do that, it just kind of depends on the question. So that's kind of what we're going to look at here. I will also say that you will definitely need a calculator for this section. I would not recommend the ones on your phone or your iPad. Just go and get one from the front of the classroom. Okay, so pause the video if you don't have one of those right now. So the first example, in each one of these we are determining if the following statements are true. Is 36 to the 3/2 power equal to 6 to the 3rd power? So my first immediate thing that I'm seeing is that I have a fraction exponent. So what I want to do is I want to transfer back to the radical form of this. So I'm going to draw my radical sign. My base is 36. My exponent, again, remember that it is exponent over index. So I see my exponent is 3, my index is 2. Now, square root 2, I don't really need to put that 2 there, but that's just going to be a square root symbol. Okay? Now here's where I'm going to need my calculator. What I need to do for my calculator is to input these things one at a time, and we're going to see if there's a spot where I can see that these are equal. So first of all, let's put 36 to the 3rd power into your calculator. And what you should get is 46,625. Sorry, that's not right. You should get 46,656. So that's a huge number, but remember that the square root symbol is going to come down. And this, we're looking to see, is that equal to 6 to the third power? Well, let's do this math again in our calculator. The square root of 46,656, and you see that that is 216. So, again, you have to show me that you can go from the fraction exponent into the radical, and then we're just going to do a little bit of work in the calculator to see if it is going to work. So now what I have to check is 216 equal to 6 to the third power? So if I put that in my calculator, I see, hey, that does equal 216. So those two, these two up here, we're going to say yes. But we have to show our work below to prove it. Again, I will say it one more time. You have to show me fraction to radical to get full credit for this, okay? Second example, I want to check if those two things are equal. Again, I see that immediately I have that fractional exponent, so I want to change that into a radical right now. So 4 is my base, my exponent, if I check, remember back down here, will be the 5th power, and it will be a square root, so that 2 can go there. Then I can put in this into my calculator, 4 to the 5th power, and when I put 4 to the 5th power, I get 1024. And then the square root symbol will come down. Now, what's nice about this question is that I can now see that these two things are the exact same. I don't have to go into my calculator anymore because I see that right now they're the same thing. So is this statement true? Yes. And this is the proof that those two statements are true, because square root of 1024 equals square root of 1024. Okay, last example for this video. This one looks kind of crazy. Now this one looks okay. We're just going to leave 3 to the 8th hang out for a second. But this one I see is in radical form, and I want to change that into my exponent form. So if you remember, 81, I need to do the power, and the power, if I don't see it, is 1 over the index, which is 4. So this can be rewritten as 81 to the 1/4 power. But we also have to bring down this exponent out here. Okay, now what I see to do next is another exponent property that we've been doing a whole lot. I see a power to a power. 1/4 to the 8th power. The shortcut that we do for a power to a power is we are going to multiply those two exponents. So 1/4 times 8 is going to be 2. So that's going to be my new exponent. Now what I need to check is that equal to 3 to the 8th power. Okay, well let's do that math in our calculators and we'll see. 3 to the 8th power is 6,561, and 81 to the 2nd power is also 6,561. So is the statement true? Yes, but again, remember, you got to show me all this work to prove it to me. And also, just so you know, I did choose 3 that are true. That does not mean that they will always be true. Okay, so hopefully this helps a little bit. Get to work and do some of the practice questions on your practice sheet.